Hey guys, Dave here from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hanging out with my esteemed colleague.
Hey, I'm Ted.
So, you want to give them the lowdown? We're doing a GM 911.
All right, we got a lengthy email from DM Red Dog, and he's got, as we call it, problems with power players in Pathfinder. Talk about the alliteration on that one. Now, number one, it's Pathfinder. Pathfinder has an upscale in power to D&D. So
I know the real problem. This DM's just getting pissed because he's losing at D&D.
So the problem is he's got a game that he's running. He's using a pre-written adventure, and he's got 3 players. He's got a bard, a sorcerer, and a druid. So
actually, that is kind of embarrassing. You're getting whomped by a bard, a druid, and a sorcerer.
I'm not going to go on that, but basically these guys are spec'd out to the nines. The players have reassured him many times that they're having fun in the game, but he, as the DM, still has that feeling sometimes that it is me versus them, and he's getting demoralized because his monsters are getting trounced.
Dude, one word. They're all spellcasters. Grapple! Grapple. Put their asses in a headlock and suplex them.
The druid likes to wild shape, and between him and his dinosaur companion, they've actually got some serious fighting power. They might not be able to, be a warrior level equivalent, but
Dinosaur got this covered easy. Squeezing. Hello. Pathfinder 3.5, it's all about rules, right? So use the rules. Put them in small areas where the dinosaur doesn't fit, or it's got to squeeze, and put it at a disadvantage.
So he's running a pre-written encounter, and he's tried up in the monster's hit points. He's tried up in the monster's stats. He's tried up in the difficulty of what's there. He's added more monsters, and they're just continuing to walk through. Now he specifically mentions that he's checked the gear for the level, and he thinks it's okay. Now, without knowing exactly, I believe he says that they've leveled up to 12 at this point in time. Without seeing their character sheets, I wouldn't be able to gauge, exactly, do they have +2, +3, +4? At that level, the 2, 3 is kind of the average, the expected for a highly magical campaign. So if you've got more than that, then they're definitely overpowered. So if you think that items might be a problem, they've got people they've pissed off on the good side, and they've got people they've pissed off on the bad side. So they've got a reputation. So there's nothing to say that some epic level thief couldn't come visit and pilfer a couple objects. One possible idea to...
You're going to go with Swarm of Rust Monsters?
I wasn't going to go there, but that's, certainly...
Well, wait a minute.
They got a druid and a sorcerer, so I doubt they're walking around in heavy armor.
Yeah, but they eat, magic items and stuff, too. But, 3.5 had this... I think it was in 3.5. It was definitely in AD&D. You can always convert it if you have to. This awesome monster called the Disenchanter that just friggin' eats magic.
Indeed.
So,
go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're going to say something.
So there's other options that I would see. My first, my first foray, my first idea that hit me was, they've marched through traps and whatever have you. I don't know the story arc, but if they're going somewhere, the villains could totally have them get trapped, locked, if you will, in a chamber or something that's totally an anti-magic zone. So there's no wild shape, there's no spell casting. All of their items become non-magical items for the duration that they're in there. And now it's totally just a physical match. And let's face it, in a physical match, you need a fighter. You need somebody who's a skilled combatant. And those 3 characters in Pathfinder, to my knowledge, aren't.
No. So that's definitely one way, although that'll get old quick. But, what about having enemy spellcasters use things like silence? That will not stop the druid, but that'll shut down your sorcerer and your bard. And it also, if the druid is casting spells while wild shape, that'll eliminate any verbal components. So that's an easy way to shut them down. Obviously, they're high enough level where you're not going to draw attacks of opportunity for spell casting because they're just going to blast right through that concentration check. But you could probably do things like ready actions on the bad guy's side, hey, they're gonna wait for you to be about to cast a spell, and they're gonna try and disrupt your spell. Again, they probably have really high concentration checks, but at least there's a chance.
Right. Another possible idea that you can do is totally just use a clone or a mirror image or something where you have a copy specifically of their character sheets and set them against themselves. If you're dealing with high powered NPCs, there's nothing to say that they couldn't be specifically training an anti-hero unit, someone to specifically deal with just them. So if their party tactics are sound, you know what they're doing because you've been running the game. So just use it right back in on them. And then the other suggestion I have is if you're feeling, down that they're trouncing everything, then go into the epic level book, get out something, and just trounce them once
to feel better.
To feel better.
To win D&D.
Well, not to win D&D, but I mean, if it's that important that you have a fight that you've won, get something that's so out of their league that they either have to run or they will be defeated.
Or throw encounters in there that you can't win by just beating the monster.
That's always helpful.
You can think out of the box a little bit and be like, okay, if their metagame is all about, I built the most powerful character I can to just crush anything in combat, well, take them out of combat, and be like, oh, it's not combat here, and make them do something else instead. Maybe there's puzzles that have to be solved. And don't let it be a solution where they get to just roll dice. Make them do a little role-playing.
Well, they say, he says that they're, sometimes lackluster through, the actual role-playing encounters. They're trying to stay on that neutral arc. They're not trying to be super buddy-buddy with the good guys, but they are defeating the bad guys' plans, so.
Well, but it's still, you can still have consequences for actions taken or not taken.
That's true.
That can, cycle back into the game. And then, specific outcomes are going to reward them more so than just beating the monster. So it's just another way of looking at it. Give them some catch-22s. Give them some hard choices to make.
And of course, the other thing is, as a DM, there's many DMs out there who feel that it is a battle line drawn between the players and the DM. And believe me, I've spent many times that's been the deal, but that's not really what the DM's job is.
Nobody wins D&D.
There isn't a situation where it's like, all right, well, I have to keep them in combat for another round, or I have to do a sixth of their resources depleted with every combat. It's not like that. You're sharing a story. You're entertaining, quote unquote, the players while they're entertaining you. And if the players are legitimately having fun, figure out what it is that you need for you to be enjoying the game that's going to still continue to let the players enjoy the game. And then everybody has fun, and you can just keep moving on. And you can sit down with the players and say, hey, look, guys, I'm not having as much fun with this because of X, Y, and Z. Could you guys do a little bit more role-playing? Could you do a little bit more, thinking through the stuff, or give me ideas of what you want to do? And if that's going to work, then yay, great. And
honestly, that brings me to another topic of, I see it in the comments all the time. I see people talk like the DM is there to entertain the players, and that's his only purpose. It's like he's some kind of trained monkey that's supposed to dance on command. And I'm like, no, this game is for all of us to enjoy. And if I'm not having fun, fuck you. I'm going to take my books and go home. I don't really want to play. So everyone's needs at the table have to be met, and no one's are more important than the other person's.
Right.
We're all here to have a good time and socialize and have fun telling a story. So if the players aren't having fun or the DM's not having fun, you're kind of missing the point. And not only that, if your DM is not enjoying what he's doing, his performance is going to show. He's not going to be into the game, and you guys are your game is just going to spiral out of control, downward, and it's just going to suck for everybody.
Of the people at the table, the DM is the most important role. He's not the he it's not like he is, oh, it's the DM. But he is the one who is guiding the story. Is
has to do all the prep work.
Has to do all the prep work. Whereas the players, they typically just show up and roll dice. Yes, some DMs can sit back and say, oh, what kind of things are you looking for? And they might request things of their players, but for the most part, the DM is the one that's got to control that story arc. He's the one that's got to provide material. He's got to run the encounters. And typically, yes, when monsters show up, he loses. It's what the DM, is there, especially if you're playing a game of heroes. So, in this situation, Red Dog, you're gonna lose. You've got a couple of things that you did well, and he says one thing lasted 20 rounds of combat, and that made him happy.
Oh my God!
I think 20 rounds of combat is like
excessive.
Way too much. 5 to 6 rounds of combat is lengthy enough, in my opinion.
Dude, honestly, we started playing 5th edition after playing a couple games of Pathfinder, and I'm like, I do not. Or maybe we went back to a Pathfinder game after playing a couple sessions of 5th edition, right. And I'm like, I do not want to fucking play this game anymore. Like, the combat's just, it wasn't fun. It's like a slog fest, a bunch of rolling dice, and I just wasn't as into it as I once was.
Well, in my...
I like the cleaner, lighter mechanics, anymore as I get old and crotchety.
In my arc of 5th edition so far, I would say on average, I'm spending over the course of an entire session less than 5 rounds in combat a night.
Yeah, I mean you can get way more encounters in 5th edition than you could in 3rd or Pathfinder, which I like. I like moving through, having more story, more role playing. And not being bogged down. And 4th edition was horrible for this as well, especially as you got up there. The fights just lasted forever. Now, if you're into that, that's fine. If that's what you enjoy, that's fine. But I'm finding I'm enjoying that less than I used to. So, 20 rounds of combat, really, dude? That's what you're trying to achieve? Oh my God!
so Red Dog, I hope that you like the suggestions that we've offered. If you're a Pathfinder player, to Red Dog and to everyone else out there,
and we hope you get to 30 rounds of combat, dude. We're gunning for you, man.
There's nothing wrong if that's the game that you like. I don't want to put the thumbs down on Pathfinder. I just prefer 5e. And, it's kind of how we got the reputation as the 5e guys. But, whatever. So, Red Dog, I hope that you like the suggestions that we offered. You got, plenty of different options that you can do. So if you guys out there have any other suggestions that Red Dog can do to...
Let's get Red Dog up to 50 rounds of combat. Help him out. Come on, man.
Put it in the comments below. While you're doing that, feel free to click like, share, even subscribe.
Without the other guys here, it feels like there's something missing. Like there's so many things for us to type. Just go hang out at nerdarchy.com. And with that, until next time, stay nerdy. So you want to give them the lowdown? We're doing a GM 911.
All right, we got a lengthy email from DM Red Dog, and he's got, as we call it, problems with power players in Pathfinder. Talk about the alliteration on that one. These guys are spec'd out to the nines. The players have reassured him many times that they're having fun in the game, but he, as the DM, still has that feeling sometimes that it is me versus them. And he's getting demoralized because...
Hey guys, Dave here from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hanging out with my esteemed colleague.
Hey, I'm Ted. Now, number one, it's Pathfinder. Pathfinder has an upscale in power to D&D. So...
I know the real problem. This DM's just getting pissed because he's losing at D&D.
So the problem is he's got a game that he's running. He's using a pre-written adventure, and he's got 3 players. He's got a bard, a sorcerer, and a druid. So,
actually, that is kind of embarrassing. You're getting whomped by a bard, a druid, and a sorcerer.
I'm not going to go on that, but basically.